It is the final showdown of the NFL season. Points are expected to fly in this matchup. Even with two elite defenses, the Chiefs are a 1.5 point favorite with an over-under of 48.5, but OddsChecker's projections actually have them as a 4.5 point favorite with a 51 point over-under translation. Both offenses will produce. Saquon Barkley feels like a lock this week, obviously. It's tough to fade him, but the big question is, should he be your captain? It's a tough call, honestly. His captain pricing is extremely high compared to Hurts and Mahomes. You can play Barkley at captain with Hurts and Mahomes, but that will in fact force you into some very low-end options for the rest of your build. On the flip side, though, if you play Hurts or Mahomes at captain, it gives you a lot more flexibility there. If you go with Mahomes at captain, Travis Kelce is obviously a prime pairing. He's projected for over 15 fantasy points, but I see a path for him to absolutely smash that. The Chiefs turn to him in big moments, and with the Eagles cornerbacks absolutely locking down outside receivers, Travis Kelce has the clearest path to a huge game. Now, Xavier Worthy is another strong pairing. He is cheaper than Travis Kelce, not by a lot though, but by enough that he allows so much more flexibility, and there's a lot more versatility to your lineup. And while I did mention that the Eagles corners have been absolutely shut down, I like Worthy because he has many different paths to success. He can do it through receptions, he can do it through chunk yardage, he can do it on the ground with rushing. He's had multiple rushing touchdowns this year. Now, if you're playing Hurts at captain, both wide receivers do stand out, although I do like Devonta Smith much better just because of the pricing. But Dallas Goedert I really like at his pricing, especially for the fact that he's really stood out through the playoffs. He's had a minimum of 9 fantasy points in every game in these playoffs. He's got a nice floor and a high ceiling. It's a great combination at his pricing. Also, just a reminder, if you are playing Jalen Hurts at captain, that does not mean that you need to fade Saquon. They can fit together. Now, with Hurts at captain, Kareem Hunt also becomes very intriguing. Think about it. If Hurts outscores Mahomes, it is likely because Kareem Hunt is getting the goal line work and succeeds at the goal line. Now, if you want to go with Barkley at captain, I'm not mad at you for that. I mean, he is Saquon Barkley, but that does mean that you will need value plays. Now, Noah Gray is an interesting value play. He obviously popped during the season, a little bit more low-key, obviously, during the playoffs, but this is a game where they could turn back to him. And don't look at me like I'm crazy, but Juju Smith-Schuster at 2,000 is an interesting value play if you have to dig deep down for super cheap value. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Juju Smith-Schuster is going to go off. I'm not crazy, but at $2,000 salary on DraftKings, it only takes a couple of catches for him to pay off.